This is the SONOS Era 300, and today I'll be walking you through what this product does and why I like it. Hey, I'm Elly Awesome, Australian tech and lifestyle reviewer, and this is like my first adult speaker, dude. I have owned a plethora of Bluetooth speakers and party speakers over my lifetime, but never have I truly invested in a high quality plug-in speaker that can be used not only to fill your home with sound, but even in a home theater setup. And I will be transparent, this is a collaboration between myself and Sonos, and I haven't actually really used many Sonos products before, and this is gonna be a fairly positive video and positive review of this product, not because this is a collaboration, but luckily because I have genuinely been quite impressed by this product. So starting at the unboxing, Sonos has evolved their packaging now. Previously, it came in more shiny packaging with plastic wrap, but now it's entirely recycled packaging. It's even got a biodegradable handle in the box. But in the box, there's actually not much. You'll find the Era 300 speaker itself, a startup guide, and a power cable. This is not a portable speaker. It needs to be plugged in at all times, and it's made to be a stationary speaker that sits in a particular room to fill the room with sound. Although if you do want to move it to a different room of the house, I did find that unplugging it and plugging it back in, it connects really quickly back up to the Wi-Fi network, so you shouldn't have a problem if you do want to move it. Now, I've got to say, the Era 300 does have a unique design. I know my first thought was, whoa, that's interesting. But since having this in my home for a couple of weeks, I've come to really like its unique vibe. Like, I feel like it's eye-catching, yet it actually fits in really seamlessly with your decor because the front is just a simple grill base, but you've also got those really unique edges and shapes, so it's cool. And I've heard Sonos has taken on previous feedback to actually separate out the volume from the skip tracks button control. So we've got a volume slider, which you can kind of swipe or tap on. There are plus and minus icons for micro adjustments, but I find myself just swiping back and forth. It's super easy and kind of satisfying. And you've also got a play, pause, track forward and track back control on top. Now, the thing about this speaker and many speakers these days is it needs to be used with an app to set it up and to enjoy it to its fullest features. So you need either an iPhone or an Android phone to use it. Now, if you're an iPhone person, you get a pretty awesome feature called True Play. And what it's gonna ask you to do on setup is to grab your iPhone and walk around the room looking a little bit silly while this speaker does a sound test. Essentially, the Sonos tech is using the microphone in your iPhone or iOS device. I believe you can set it up with an iPad as well, to listen to how the audio reverberates off the walls and items around the room. And in doing this, it'll try to give you the best audio playback for your space. Now, if you're on Android, this is actually the first time that True Play will be made available to you. It is, however, a different version of True Play. For Android users, the speaker itself is going to use its own built-in microphone to analyze the sound within the room, and that is going to enable you to still get a pretty awesome, quality sound. And honestly, it's not a major difference, but I do like the fancy walking around the room thing. So I'm team iPhone for this one. Speaking of the microphone, not only is it built in for True Play specifically, but there is a Sonos voice assistant. And by assistant, I think it's just called Sonos voice control. Additionally, if you don't really like to have microphones in your house that are connected to the internet, Sonos has actually built in a physical kill switch toggle, so you can kill the microphone entirely just by turning it off. And personally, I am a fan of these kinds of features. I don't really want my speakers listening all the time, so sick. Next to this, there's also a USB line in, and this can be used to plug in external devices such as a turntable or, record player. The only catch is you do need a Sonos branded adapter if you are plugging it in via a wired connection. Now, I'm told that it's pretty big news for Sonos that they've included Bluetooth in this speaker, because initially you had like a Ethernet port or an Ethernet port, and that's how you'd be connected to, streaming and your network. But now you're just over Wi-Fi. You can go USB-C in, but you've also got this additional Bluetooth capability. I haven't been particularly using this feature because I've been using this in my lounge room, but it is handy if people want a Bluetooth to the speaker. You do have that option, and it's gonna sound so much better than a traditional, average Bluetooth speaker. And that also means that you do have the capability to use this as a speaker for like a computer setup, which is pretty wild. You can't unfortunately use the microphone that's built into this as a mic for your computer, but You can use it for playback, and on Bluetooth, there hasn't seemed to be any lag, so pretty good. But really, we should be talking about the playback itself. Like, how does this thing sound? Well, this is Sonos's first ever Dolby Atmos speaker, I'm told. And it's a brand new speaker. It's not replacing any previous models. With this fancy new thing, you can experience Dolby Atmos and spatial audio, and oh, it's good. Spatial audio is where like the composers, the producers, I think, when they're creating a track, when they're mixing it, they can place like the drums and the bass and the violins and everything in different places, technically, like around you. And that is a thing that can be simulated in like particular headphones, but now even speakers. And when you are listening to that high quality audio on something that can actually replicate high quality audio, if you haven't listened to that kind of audio before, if I'm still making sense, it's amazing, dude. But truly, this is the best audio quality I have had through my ears, aside from maybe going to the cinema. And even so, sometimes the audio quality in the cinema, like it's not the best. Like, what do you call it when like it's not echoing right in the room? Like it's just not the best acoustics, yes. This is a paid collaboration, but I have just been loving life having this in my lounge room and just kicking back. And also I connect it with the SONOS Era 100. And so I have one on one side of the room and one on the other. And it genuinely sounds like I'm at a live gig sometimes. When you pick the right track, it's like unreal. And other tracks just sound impressive. Like I'm going off script here, but it's impressive to the point where I feel excited to invite people over and have like a little party as a big adult. And I feel like I'm gonna get compliments from this thing. And just, I'm excited to do that. This is awesome when watching movies too. I got to sit in on a demo where this was used in a home theater setup. And like if you set up a group of Sonos speakers, right? Or like these with a sound bar, you can like hear helicopters flying by and all kinds of crazy action, and there's so much clarity and depth and layering and nuance to the music or the like, I don't know, Foley. As you can tell, I've been converted. I am now fangirl. Essentially, it's a great speaker. It's got room enveloping sound, layers, nuance with instruments, and a punchy bass. And if you use Apple Music, which actually has Dolby Atmos and spatial audio tracks, if you're wanting to listen to music, and then you watch like Dolby Atmos content, which also is like definitely on Apple from what I know. I'm not sure what other streaming platforms definitely have Dolby Atmos. It's great. So honestly, my next steps, I wanna create my own home theater setup. I'm loving these as music like players. But yeah, I want to have like a Sonos soundbar, this as like a rear, and like get the Sonos sub, blah, blah, blah. I'm stoked. And quick side note, if you were interested in the SONOS Era 100, it is essentially replacing the Sonos Play one. Essentially, it's still a similar form factor in size, but I think a bit taller. And it also has the redesign with the capacitive touch and the Bluetooth built in. So they work really good together, and that's also a really great product if you want really high quality, loud sound for your room, but it's like a lot smaller. If you're interested in these, I'll put some more information in my video description. But otherwise, I hope you find what you're looking for your awesome sound system. And if you did enjoy this, I'd really appreciate a like, some feedback in the comments, and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. And hopefully, I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.